Ever notice how you can have the exact same day twice? But one feels like victory and the other feels like defeat. What if I told you the difference isn't what happened, but which story you agreed to tell yourself, and that you get to choose? We'll explore this with a guided meditation at the end. Right now, there's a courtroom in your mind. You might not know it's there, but you've been showing up every single day, building cases, preparing arguments, defending yourself against charges that, well, we'll get to that. This lesson asks us to accept our part in what it calls God's plan for salvation, which sounds religious but is really about accepting our role in healing the stories that cause us suffering. Instead of fighting reality or trying to fix everything outside ourselves, we take responsibility for the one thing we actually control: how we interpret what happens to us. Think about Sarah. She's just opened her email and there it is. Her boss wants to discuss her performance tomorrow. In the space between reading those words and her next breath, an entire legal proceeding begins. Her mind becomes a courtroom. She's suddenly both prosecutor and defense attorney, and the trial hasn't even started yet. What did I do wrong? Becomes, here's everything I've ever done wrong. She's gathering evidence, building her case, preparing her defense. She'll spend the entire evening, maybe the whole night, in this mental litigation, exhausting herself before anything has actually happened. Here's what's fascinating. Sarah is preparing for a trial that doesn't exist. She's rehearsing closing arguments for a case that was never filed. She's defending herself against accusations no one has made. Her boss might want to discuss a new project, or schedule changes, or literally anything else. But Sarah's mind has already decided she's guilty and needs defending. We all do this. We wake up as our own defense attorney. Before our feet hit the floor, we're already building today's case. Here's why I'm good enough. Here's why yesterday's mistake doesn't define me. Here's why I deserve to be happy. We collect evidence all day long. Every small success goes in the defense folder. Every perceived failure strengthens the prosecution. It's exhausting because we're playing both sides. We're the one bringing the charges and the one fighting them. Feel into this for a moment. That tension in your shoulders, that's from carrying all those case files. That loop in your mind that won't stop spinning, that's you rehearsing tomorrow's defense. Your body knows you're in court even when you think you're just making coffee or checking your phone. The trial never ends because you're both judge and jury, prosecutor and defense, all at once. But here's where everything shifts. What if you discovered that you were never actually on trial? What if all that energy spent building arguments, gathering evidence, preparing rebuttals, what if it was all for a case that was never real? Imagine walking into that courtroom in your mind and finding it empty. No judge, no jury, no prosecutor, just you, standing there with a briefcase full of defenses for charges that were never filed. This is the moment when the exhaustion makes sense. You haven't been fighting the world, you've been fighting shadows. You haven't been defending yourself against others, you've been arguing with your own projections. The courtroom was always empty. You were never on trial. The only one who ever accused you was you. Sarah could walk into that meeting tomorrow without a single defense prepared. She could show up curious instead of armored. She could listen to what her boss actually says instead of what she's been arguing against all night. But to do that, she'd have to fire her defense attorney. She'd have to let the courtroom in her mind go quiet. When you stop being a defense attorney, something remarkable happens. First, there's this almost shocking silence. All that mental noise, the arguments, the evidence gathering, the constant case building, it just stops. It's like someone turned off a machine you didn't even know was running. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing deepens. You might even feel a little lost at first because you're so used to the noise. But then you start to notice what's actually happening around you. Without the courtroom drama playing in your head, you can hear what people are really saying. You can respond to what's actually occurring instead of defending against what might happen. Sarah walks into that meeting and discovers her boss wants her to lead a new project because she's been doing excellent work. All that terror, all that preparation for defense, none of it was ever needed. This is what accepting your part really means. It's not about taking on some grand spiritual mission. It's about accepting that your only job is to stop prosecuting yourself. To stop showing up for trials that don't exist. To stop building cases against your own peace of mind. Learning to respond instead of defend changes everything. When someone asks you a question, you can simply answer it instead of calculating what they might be implying. When something unexpected happens, you can meet it with curiosity instead of immediately building a case for why it's either your fault or not your fault. When you make a mistake, you can correct it and move on instead of spending days in mental court. It's like being a defense attorney who suddenly realizes they've been arguing the wrong case for years. All that training, all that skill, all that energy, and then you discover you were never actually on trial. The courtroom in your head goes quiet, and you can finally hear what's actually happening around you. You can finally respond to life instead of defending against it. This doesn't mean you become passive or stop caring. It means you stop wasting energy on imaginary trials. You stop exhausting yourself with defenses nobody asked for. You stop living like every moment is a test you might fail. When you're not constantly defending, you have so much more energy for actually living. The relief is immediate and profound. It's not the relief of winning a case. It's the relief of realizing there was never a case to win. All those years of building arguments, all that energy spent on defense, all those sleepless nights preparing for trials that never came, you can let it all go. Not because you won, but because you were never on trial. This is the shift, from defense attorney to simple presence. From constant litigation to actual living. From preparing arguments to having conversations. From gathering evidence to gathering experiences. The courtroom in your mind closes for good. And in its place, something much simpler emerges. The ability to be here, now, responding to what is rather than defending against what might be. When you stop arguing with reality and start working with it, everything shifts from feeling like a problem you have to solve to an experience you get to navigate with clarity and peace. You don't need to prepare a defense for tomorrow's meeting. You don't need to build a case for why you deserve good things. You don't need to prosecute yourself for yesterday's mistakes. You can simply show up, respond to what's real, and trust that you were never on trial in the first place. Before we move into the meditation, if this is helping you, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe. It's a simple way to keep practicing together. Let yourself settle into a comfortable position. There's no right way to sit or lie down. Just let your body find its own ease. Take a breath that feels good to you. Not forced, not controlled. Just a breath that your body wants to take. Notice if there's any tension in your shoulders. That's where we carry our case files. That's where the weight of all those defenses lives. You don't need to do anything about it. Just notice. Feel your breath moving naturally. In and out. No effort needed. If you notice your mind starting to build a case about something, maybe about how you're doing this meditation, maybe about something from earlier today, just notice. You're not on trial here. There's no right or wrong way to breathe, to sit, to be. Let your shoulders soften a little more. All those defenses you've been preparing, all those arguments you've been rehearsing, they can rest now. Court is not in session. Breathe in. Breathe out. Nothing to defend, nothing to prove. Feel the quiet that comes when you're not building a case, when you're not gathering evidence, when the courtroom in your mind is empty and still. This quiet is always available. Between the thoughts, beneath the defenses, behind all the noise of the trial that never was. Rest here for a moment. No judge watching. No jury deciding, just you, breathing, being, without any need for defense. Notice how your body feels when it's not bracing for judgment, when it's not preparing for attack. This is your natural state, easeful, open, responsive instead of defensive. When you're ready, take one more breath. Let yourself know that the courtroom can stay empty. You can meet whatever comes next without armor, without argument, without defense. Gently open your eyes if they were closed. Move slowly as you return to your day. The quiet goes with you. Thank you for practicing with us today. If you'd like, there's a free digital copy of A Course in Miracles available through the link in the description. You're also welcome to leave a simple comment such as, "I am grateful. Thank you for spending this time with us today." As you move through the rest of your day, remember, you're not on trial. You don't need to defend yourself against life. You can simply respond to what's real and let that be enough. Be gentle with yourself. Until next time, take care.